demonic possessions, disturbing flickers, and unbelievable sightings. It was all captured by ordinary people with no idea what they were pointing their cameras at. So stick around to see some of the most disturbing and bizarre videos from around the world, revealing what happens when no one's watching.
Little buddy.
A traveler was staying at a hotel when things suddenly took a strange turn. He saw a creepy face from the glass window, unlike any known creature. The way it looked at him, and even gave a weird smile, made him panic. It looked like a demonic creature. He quickly ran out of the hotel. But just when he thought it was gone, another one appeared right behind it, with small horns on its head. He ran as fast as he could. After that night, the traveler went mysteriously missing. People believe the demon had taken him away. Haunted mirror. A boy felt an unusual presence while sleeping in his room, so he turned on the light and looked around. What he saw next was enough to give him goosebumps. As he shined the light at the mirror, he saw a dark figure standing there staring back at him. The strange thing was, he lived alone. There was no one in the room, yet the figure appeared only in the mirror. The shadow reappeared near him, but still just in the reflection. Panicked by the sight, he realized this could be a ghost or a being from another dimension. Mirrors are often seen as portals to other worlds, and maybe, just maybe, this was a spirit trapped in the mirror, sending a warning. Entities appearing.
Para, no te vayas. Para. No, dale.
A strange incident took place with some friends in a hostel. They noticed the washroom door handle moving on its own, even though no one was inside. It felt so odd, and when they checked, there was no one there. Just when they thought it was over, a figure appeared in white standing there. As they tried to understand it, they spotted a dark figure on the roof too. They realized it was time for them to leave, and didn't dare to return.
Que me estás molestando de vuelta.
What the heck?
Amigos, ahorita que estaba...
A woman was recording a video when she saw something straight out of her nightmare. As she looked into the camera, a creepy face peeked from behind the wall. It wasn't human or any known creature. What was it? It looked like a cryptid, or perhaps even a devil. The creature just stayed there, staring at her. Terrified, she quickly called an exorcist, knowing she couldn't handle this alone. The unsettling feeling remained, and she hoped the exorcist could put an end to the terror.
No puedo. Ven ahí.
Visiting a church. Builders were restoring an old church when they captured a disturbing sight. One of them was recording the location when he suddenly saw a small being standing there. He caught just a glimpse of it, but when he turned, there was no one. Strange noises followed, but he brushed it off. As they continued exploring, they discovered a creepy creature hiding behind a wall. Its burned face and strange ears made it look like a demon, but things didn't stop there. In the church corridor, they spotted a humanoid figure. Terrified, they ran for their lives, convinced the place was haunted by demons. They never returned. Demonic ritual. A local decided to take a shortcut home through a deserted road, but what he saw made him stop in his tracks. He noticed two figures dressed in all red moving around a fire circle. Something felt off about the scene. As he tried to make sense of it, a bizarre creature appeared. It had long, twisted limbs and didn't resemble anything he had ever seen before. A chilling thought crossed his mind. It seemed like a creepy ritual, and the creature could be an evil spirit summoned by it. Realizing the danger, he regretted his decision to take that road and stay to witness the unsettling scene. Haunted by a ghost. A house owner began to feel an unusual presence in his home, so he decided to set up a camera in his room facing the hallway. At first, everything seemed normal, but then the camera recorded something unsettling. A shadowy humanoid figure passed through the hallway. The strange part, he lived alone, so seeing someone else was impossible. It became clear that the house might be haunted, possibly by a ghost that had been there long before him. As strange events continued to occur, he regretted not checking the dark past of the house before moving in. Now he was left wondering what else the house might be hiding. Ghost talking to kid. A CCTV camera set in the kitchen recorded something very unexpected. Everything seemed normal when a child entered the room, holding some plastic jars. But what happened next was shocking. The little girl appeared to be talking to someone, though no one was there. It felt like she was speaking to an invisible presence. Then, the jar she was holding was snatched from her hands, seemingly by nothing at all. It looked like a ghost, as many say children are more likely to see spirits. When the family checked the footage later, they were terrified. They knew they couldn't leave their child alone there again. Visiting a graveyard.
Is it true that you still haunt this cemetery and watch over it? If so, manifest near the K2 again.
A YouTuber visited a graveyard in Wisconsin, known for strange sightings, to record his experience. As he walked through, he sensed an unusual presence, but continued filming. He kept hearing footsteps, even though he was alone. What could it be? While recording near a grave, a shadowy figure appeared on camera. To his shock, the ghost detection tool confirmed a presence. One grave in particular was said to belong to a soldier whose spirit still roamed the grounds. As he explored further, he was suddenly pulled by an unseen force. Terrified, he realized his mistake in coming alone. When he stepped back, the feeling of being chased never left him.
Something just ran by me. I swear to God.
Attention-seeking ghost. A bizarre incident took place with a house owner. He saw the basement door open by itself. He went to check and turned on the light, but there was no one around. He locked the door and continued his work. Then, the door opened again, and this time, a dark shape appeared. It kept happening, and each time, the feeling grew stronger. The house owner realized it was no normal occurrence. It was an evil spirit, either teasing him to leave, or possibly a trapped spirit asking for help. Either way, the fear they felt was real.
Little buddy.
Haunted house.
Try and grab it the best you can. Yeah, go. Quick.
A father and daughter sensed something unusual in their house, so they decided to record it. They sat around a table with a ghost detection device. Suddenly, the father began acting strangely. He complained of a headache, and then the real shock hit. He screamed, and for a moment, his face changed. It was as if he wasn't in control of himself, possibly influenced by a demon. Things didn't stop there. While working in his room, his chair and stool moved on their own. A hand appeared behind a painting, and a shadowy figure peeked from behind the wall. They knew it was time to call a priest. Haunted while gaming. A clip recently went viral online, capturing something no one expected. It showed a gamer playing when suddenly, a dark figure passed by him. He froze, unsure of what he had just seen. When he looked again, there was no one there. But that wasn't the only strange thing. Items in the kitchen began moving on their own, and then he saw the shadowy figure again. This time, in the laundry room, the door opened and shut on its own. After researching the house's history, he discovered it had once belonged to a man who practiced a creepy ritual to summon spirits. The man disappeared, but the souls remained, and there was no way to send them back.
You gotta get out.
Ghost behind streamer.
Oh, No.
Hey, Christy, bro,
Please,
you ain't got no
somebody.
parent.
Some streamers were live on YouTube, casually talking, when something unexpected happened. A dark presence appeared behind one of them. It wasn't a person or anything familiar. It looked like something not from this world. At first, he ignored it, thinking it was nothing. But others on the stream noticed it too. Turns out, he had been facing strange issues before as well. Now it was clear, he didn't live there alone. That ghostly figure had probably been there since the day he moved in, silently watching from the shadows.
No, that look like you might got a ghost, bro.
Bro, chill out, bro. I don't need no...
Haunted apartment.
Listen to it.
A man was sleeping peacefully in his apartment room when loud knocks suddenly came from the closet door. He got up, confused and scared, but found no one inside. Thinking it was just his imagination, he tried to sleep again. But a few days later, the same thing happened. Only this time, the closet door opened by itself. That's when he realized it wasn't just random noise. The apartment might have been home to a djinn, or even more than one. It felt like a warning, as if those beings didn't want him there and were asking him to leave their space.
Here we go with this again. We're just gonna wait.
Haunted hotel.
Girls trip, most haunted hotel in America?
A lady staying at a hotel in America stumbled upon something she couldn't ignore. While recording a room video, a figure suddenly passed in front of her camera. It looked like a child, but there was no child with her. Who was it? It turned out to be the ghost of a child who had once stayed at the hotel and mysteriously disappeared after a tragic incident. Another similar case was reported when a woman, capturing mountain views from her hotel balcony, suddenly heard a singing voice, but no one else was around. She believed it might be a spirit tied to the hotel's dark past. She immediately decided to change hotels after that moment. School adventure.
No, go.
A group of friends decided to explore an old local school just for fun. As they roamed the halls, they heard strange noises coming from one of the locked rooms. No one should have been inside, so they were curious. Suddenly, a creepy scream echoed nearby. In that moment, they knew exactly what it was: a djinn. Abandoned places like this are often believed to be their homes. Realizing the risk, they quickly left, feeling the heavy presence of something supernatural lurking behind them. Paranormal activity. A boy was streaming on YouTube. Everything seemed normal until the door behind him suddenly slammed shut with force. He got scared, but tried to ignore it and continued the stream. Moments later, the light turned on by itself. He checked. No one was there. When he turned it off, it switched on again. Things started falling on their own, and a dark figure passed behind him. That's when he knew this wasn't random. He had heard stories about a demonic being linked to the place, but now he was seeing it for real. He stepped out immediately, deciding not to return again. Haunted basement.
Yeah, that happens.
A couple had just shifted into a new house when the wife started noticing strange things. She convinced her husband to check the basement with her. As they went down, they saw objects already scattered on the floor. While the wife stood nearby, another item suddenly fell on its own right beside her. She ran to her husband, and again, something else dropped behind them. It was hard to ignore now. The husband, who didn't believe at first, felt it too. It seemed like some ghostly force still haunted the place, and people related it to the mysterious disappearance of a girl in this house.
Go upstairs, go upstairs!
Paranormal livestream.
There's no one there.
Joking.
A woman was doing a live stream, casually sharing her video with friends. Everything seemed fine until noticed the door opening on its own. That was already strange since she lived alone. But then it got worse. A girl appeared from that same door, and she looked exactly like the woman's sister, who had passed away years ago. Was it her spirit? Maybe. It's believed that those closest to us never really leave. They sometimes return, just like this, when we least expect it.
Oh my God, you're joking. You're lying.
No,
way you
look,
edited
there's a
that.
head.
No, you've edited that. You have to have edited that.
How have I edited it?
Patio ghost.
I know, Blue, someone's there, huh?
A clip recently became the talk of the town. It showed a girl sitting on the patio when, suddenly, the rocking chair moved on its own. How could that even be possible? Even her dog noticed it and started barking, adding to the eerie feeling. There was definitely something off. It seemed like a ghost on the chair. Dogs are known to sense things that humans can't, and it looked like they were picking up on something that couldn't be seen by normal eyes. Would you have stayed out there, or would you call for help?
But then it stops on its own when I come outside. Let's see if I could get it on camera.
Haunted house.
No mames, no mames.
A lady in her house started feeling an unusual presence at night. She tried to ignore it, but one night, someone knocked at her door. She checked, but there was no one. It happened again and again. So she decided to set up a camera to capture who or what was behind it. What she saw shocked her. First, something fell by itself, and then a dark face peeked behind the fridge. It was enough to know it was clearly a djinn in her house. She quickly ran out, but this wasn't the only sighting. Some friends who visited her once said they saw a peeking head of a kid outside her room, but no child lived there. People later said it could be the ghost of a baby who passed away in that house long ago, maybe still looking for his family. Haunted clock. Something terrifying happened with a local man when he noticed his wall clock acting strange. While he was just staring at it, the glass cover suddenly opened by itself. He felt scared and went to close it, but it opened again. The next day, it kept happening. That's when he got really worried. He picked it up and threw it outside, thinking it wasn't just a faulty clock, but a haunted one. He believed a spirit might be trapped inside it, so to end whatever curse was linked to it, he burned the clock completely. Ghost screaming.
It's room 209. Amy says nobody's checked into that room, and there's reports of screaming coming from that room.
A video from September 14th, 2003, recorded by the security manager of Wingate Hotel in Illinois, revealed a creepy scene. Guests reported loud screaming from room 209, but it was empty when checked. Moments later, a white shadowy figure passed the door. There's no known history to the room, but past guests had also complained about strange noises. Some believe it could have been a djinn. These beings are said to live in empty, quiet places and react when disturbed. With years of unexplained activity in that room, it made sense. The hotel was shut down soon after this sighting. Possessed. It looked like a normal day at the supermarket, until it wasn't. A woman was walking through the aisles when she suddenly dropped the things in her hands. Then, more stuff fell around her. She stood still, then started shaking. People nearby were shocked. It didn't look like a normal health issue. The way her body moved, and the loud scream she let out. It felt like something had taken over her, possibly a demon. The store camera caught it all. The staff quickly called for help, not knowing such curses don't leave that easily. And sometimes they stay right where they began. Hospital ghost.
Hey, what's up?
A guard on a late shift in an abandoned hospital made his last round when he saw someone in a hospital gown. It was strange. There couldn't be any patients in that part of the building. As he tried to make sense of it, the figure suddenly disappeared. He quickly ran after it, but when he turned the corner, the corridor was empty. No one was there. Rumors suggested it was the soul of a patient who had passed away long ago, haunting that very hospital. After that night, the guard never returned to his job again. The hospital's dark past seemed to stay in the halls. Possessed man. A strange CCTV clip from a convenience store recently got people talking. Everything looked fine, until a boy near the snack aisle suddenly started acting weird. His body twisted in odd ways, almost like something inside was shaking him from within. For a moment, it didn't even feel like a human. It was like he had no control, completely taken over by some evil spirit. He moved like he was under the strong control of a force that wasn't his own. The staff called for help, but the clip quickly went viral. Many believe the boy was possessed and that the spirit might still be around. Demon in action. A terrifying incident took place with a hiker in the woods as he spotted a creepy figure there. Not knowing what it was, he stepped closer and saw it. It appeared humanoid, with bizarre hair covering its face. What made it more shocking was that it stood near a fire, acting strangely, as if performing some kind of creepy ritual. An instant thought came to his mind. Was it a demon? Well, that's what it appeared to be. Sensing the risk, he quietly backed away and quickly left the place. Crawling, possessed woman. A CCTV camera set up outside a quiet house recorded something straight out of a nightmare. In the middle of the night, a pale figure was seen crawling in a strange way through the driveway and even around other areas of the house. Since everyone was asleep, no one noticed a thing. The figure had long hair, and after a closer look, it seemed to be a woman. But no normal woman could move like that. It raised only one thought. Was she possessed by something supernatural? When the homeowners checked the footage, they would get the shock of their lives. Uninvited guest. An Irish lady was recording a video when, out of nowhere, a shadowy figure appeared on camera. It passed so close to her before quickly disappearing. At first, she didn't notice it, but the camera clearly captured it. Strange events kept happening around her soon after that, so she decided to research the house's history. To her shock, she discovered that a person had once lived there and experienced a tragic incident. Now, it seemed the spirit of that person still roamed the house, seeking revenge for what had happened. Horned demon. A group of ghost experts decided to explore an abandoned children's home, expecting to find the usual ghostly presence. However, what they encountered was far from what they had in mind. While one of the experts, a lady worker, was recording and speaking, the camera unexpectedly captured a dark being behind her, its shape distorted against the wall. The figure appeared to have horns, but it didn't resemble any known creature. It seemed more like a horned beast, possibly taking refuge in the abandoned site. The sight left them questioning whether they had stumbled upon something much darker than a typical ghost. Wood mystery. A group of hunters deep in the Alaskan forest. While camping, one of them noticed something unusual. His scouting station was being watched by a dark, giant creature. At first, he thought it was just Bigfoot, but as he stared longer, he realized he was wrong. It wasn't Bigfoot, it was a demon. The creature stood still, staring at them, its presence looming like it was waiting for the right moment to rush towards them, and the group knew they needed to leave before things took a terrifying turn. Red feet. A man from China moved into a new house, but soon things started to take a terrifying turn. It began with a shadowy figure spotted behind the window, and then the curtains pulled by themselves. Trying to understand what was going on, he continued exploring. To his shock, he discovered red footsteps leading up the stairs. Despite the danger, curiosity led him further. When he reached the locked doors, he was horrified to find red fluid flowing from them, and the bathroom tub was full of it. It was enough to make him run out of the house, realizing the ghost of a person trapped there for years now haunted anyone who moved in. 3 friends. Something terrifying is coming your way, so hold on tight. On October 18th, 2020, a boy was alone at home when he heard an unusual knock at the door. He checked, but no one was there. Thinking someone was playing a prank, he ignored it, but things escalated when the TV turned off by itself. Confused, he dismissed it, but then the light bulb shifted, and objects started falling out of nowhere. He feared an evil entity lived in the house, warning him to leave. This wasn't the only strange event. Some friends staying at a hotel saw a pale figure pass through the gallery. They later discovered the hotel was built over an old graveyard, with spirits still haunting the place. Demonic refuge. Some ghost experts were exploring an old abandoned house, hoping to catch signs of a spirit, but what they came across was something entirely different. As they moved through a narrow hallway, a creature slowly peeked from behind a broken wall. It had a strange goat-like face, rough skin, and sharp horns. It only stayed for a few seconds before pulling back. One of the experts said it didn't feel like a ghost. It felt alive, maybe a devil creature, or a goat-like reptilian hiding inside. When they stepped forward to check, it seemed like the creature grabbed one of them. The camera shook, and then the video cut. What happened next remains unknown. We can only hope he made it out safely. Shapeshifter at Pope's funeral. During the Pope's funeral ceremonies, everything looked normal until one strange moment was caught on camera. Among the crowd, there was a person whose face didn't look human at all. It had animal-like features. The clip quickly went viral, sparking debate all over. Some viewers were convinced it wasn't a glitch or shadow. It was real. They believed it could be a shapeshifter hiding in plain sight. What it was doing there, no one could say. But after that, people started to wonder who around us is truly human and who's just pretending to be. Happily ever after. On August 6th, 2022, a couple moved into a new house, but soon began experiencing strange occurrences. To keep track, they installed security cameras. One night, they heard a knock at the hallway door and saw a strange light. When they checked, no one was there. Later, while in the kitchen, objects began falling on their own, and the woman noticed the curtains moving by themselves. These events weren't ordinary. It became clear that something supernatural was controlling the house. They decided to call a priest immediately, hoping to rid their home of whatever haunted it. Shadow people. A father and daughter were capturing a video when something creepy happened. As they filmed, an eerie shadow figure started peeking from behind the door, vanishing for a few seconds before reappearing. Both were startled, but tried to get a better view, with the daughter quickly grabbing the camera. Just as she reached for the door, the shadow disappeared again. The strange part? It was happening right in front of them, yet the figure seemed to vanish without a trace. Many believe it might be a jinn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Evidence of haunted dolls. On September 20th, 2026, CCTV footage from a house showed a strange incident. A girl was coloring in the living room when her pages suddenly began to move on their own. No one else was nearby. She paused, confused, but that wasn't the end. Later, as she played with her toys, one of her dolls moved slightly without anyone touching it. No regular doll does that. It gave the feeling that the doll might be haunted. Possibly a spirit was trapped inside, just like the ones people talk about in stories of Annabelle or Chucky. This clip raised concern for many viewers online. Ghost forecast. In Corrientes on October 20th, 2023, a strange sight was captured on the CCTV of a hotel lawn. A small white figure appeared, moving swiftly across the area. It was unlike anything known, and upon closer inspection, it seemed like the being's lower body was missing. It appeared to be floating. Could it be a ghost? That's what many who saw it believed. Soon after, guests staying at the hotel began leaving, as multiple sightings like this were reported, making everyone wonder just what was haunting the place. Ghost Nanny. On April 29th, 2025, a camera set in the room of a kid recorded something strange. Everything seemed normal when suddenly there was a knock on the door, and then the door opened by itself. But strangely, there was no one. It felt like some invisible entity stood there. More shockingly, the toy near the sleeping baby moved on its own. Was it a spirit trapped in that toy, or was the whole house haunted? Whatever it was, the family, when later on checked the footage, immediately decided to call a priest before things got worse. Impostor Pope. A video uploaded online went viral fast, and for a strange reason. It showed Pope Francis, possibly during a religious event, but then things got weird. At one point, the camera caught him pulling at his own skin, and for a quick moment, his face seemed to shift, not like a normal glitch, but like it changed into something else, something ghostly. People watching the video couldn't believe their eyes. Many started calling him a reptilian or even a devil hiding in plain sight, saying maybe, just maybe, the real form slipped out for a second before vanishing again. Water ghost. A hiker coming out of the woods spotted a small figure hiding between the trees. Curious, he followed it, leading him to a massive old house deep in an abandoned area. The place looked ruined, but strangely, it had things inside, like people once lived there. He stepped in, confused. Furniture was scattered, clothes left behind, but no one in sight. Then things started moving on their own. He even saw a figure pass by. This house wasn't empty. It was possibly taken over by an evil ghost. He felt like entering was a huge mistake, and later he went missing. No one ever found out where he went. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. On October 21st, near Rusty's Market in Cairns, a TikTok girl known for her Ghost Diaries channel was last seen on CCTV, and after that, she vanished. In her final uploads, she mentioned feeling like she was under someone else's control. She started by chasing spirits, but it felt like one never left her. That last footage was the only thing left behind. Police are still searching, asking for any footage from that day.
The Queensland Police Service are working tirelessly 24/7 in order to get answers for Toya and her family, and we will not stop until we get those answers.